Welcome to the Digital Marketing course. In this course, you will learn how to implement digital marketing tactics and strategies for your business to ultimately scale your sales. I hope you caught lesson 1 of this course. In it, we learned how to set up a Google Ad account, and we learned about the Google Ad account structure. I included some activities that will help you build out your Google Ad account for your business. If you haven't already, be sure to watch that video and complete those learning activities. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Google Analytics. We're going to review what it is, why it's useful, and the conversion tracking and audiences that can be set up within Google Analytics. This lesson is considered a bonus lesson. Business owners don't necessarily have to implement this, but Google Analytics reviews site visitors. It gives feedback on their demographics and their website experience. Ultimately, it gives you more data to make strategic, tactful decisions to improve your shopping experience, and ultimately enables you to make more sales. So in today's video, I will show you how to set up a Google Analytics account, how to link it to your existing Google account, how to set up the conversion tracking so that you can track visitors on your site, and last but not least, how you can set up custom audiences so that you can serve specific Google ads to specific audiences. Let's get started. To create a Google Analytics account, simply go to Google and enter Google Analytics. You will then want to select the first option of Google Analytics. This is where you need to enter your Google sign-in information. I highly recommend using the same information that you used to create your Google Ad account. As you can see, the Google Analytics account for Gravity Dice has been created. Your account will look similar to this. Notice all of the features that are on this Google Analytics page. Home, customization, that comes later when you figure out what you like about the platform and what you don't. You have real-time activity where you can see visitors visiting your site based on overview, location, traffic sources, which is useful to understand which users are on iPhones. Traffic sources is really beneficial as you can understand which users are on mobile versus desktop or tablet. In Google Ads later, you can bid more to appear on these device placements. You can also review content they reviewed, events, and conversions. You also have options to review audiences, acquisition, how people came to your site, their behavior when they visit your site, and conversions. In order to set up Google Ads tracking, we need to ensure that the Google Ad account is linked with the Google Analytics account. Gravity Dice is already linked, but I'm going to walk through these steps with you. In order to link your Analytics account to your created Google Ads account, simply go to the gear in the bottom left-hand corner from the home page. Select that gear, and then in the second column, select Google Ads linking. Now, Google may auto-generate some accounts that you already have in place. Ensure that you have the correct Google Ads 10-digit ID. To find this 10-digit ID, simply log into your Google Ads account that you created in lesson 1. Once you log into your Google Ad account, you'll notice that there is a 10-digit ID next to the name of your Google Ad account. That is your Google Ad account ID. Go ahead and copy that number and paste it into the proper place on Google Analytics. Then select Continue. You should then be able to confirm the linking of the Google Ad and the Google Analytics accounts. Hit Confirm and Save. Now we need to set up conversion tracking. Conversion tracking is a little piece of code that you put on your website. Google talks to that code and tracks the individuals that come. This little tracking code, or conversion tracking, will then gather information from visitors of your site. It won't gather specific things like name and email, but it will gather things such as gender, age, income level, and other demographic statistics. In order to implement the tracking information, simply go to the second column and select Tracking Info. It is really important to note that every website is different. The ultimate goal is to insert this code so that you can track visitors on your website. Gravity Dice has a Shopify site, and therefore it is extremely simple to implement this code. For WordPress sites, a big chunk of code, seen here, is needed to be inserted on every page header and in some cases footer as well to properly track conversions. And this doesn't mean just placed on the home page, this means every page of the website, but most importantly, the pages that you will be sending visitors to. Because Gravity Dice has a Shopify site, all I need is the Google Analytics ID. This ID can be seen under Tracking ID. I simply need to copy and paste that and take it over to Shopify. Shopify has a section under Store Preferences in which I can enter this code for the Google Analytics code. Shopify will automatically implement this conversion tracking code onto every page of the Shopify site. I have noticed in my experience that other e-commerce sites are extremely similar. Weebly, Wix, Squarespace, Square, and other sites are extremely similar to this process. Thankfully, these website builders have noticed that this can be a pain point for conversion tracking and digital marketing for business owners, and therefore they have made it as simple as possible. I highly recommend Googling your specific site and instructions on how to implement Google Analytics conversion tracking so that you can track those that come to your site and measure the effectiveness of your ads. If worst comes to worst, talk to a website developer. They can help you properly implement this tracking code. Now that the Google ad and analytic accounts are linked and that we have conversion tracking set up, we want to activate the e-commerce tracking. To do this, go to the third column of the settings page. Select e-commerce settings and toggle both options on. This will enable Google to talk to your e-commerce site and keep track of the numbers and the ROI that you are getting on your digital marketing efforts. Once they are toggled on, you have the option to add funnel options. These can be manually inserted or automatically inserted if your site is talking to Google Analytics. Don't stress about this now though. This can be fleshed out later. Go ahead and save these changes. Digital marketing is most effective when you put the right message in front of the right people at the right time. While we're here in Google Analytics, let's create some audiences. This will enable you to consider your ad copywriting later in Google Ads, and it will allow you to filter through these audiences and place ads to these people. Note that for some smaller e-commerce sites, some of these audiences may not work right when you create them. Google has a minimum audience size requirement of 1,000 individuals. You will not be able to use any audiences you create manually through Google Analytics on Google Ads until your audience reaches that size. Ways that you can quickly reach these audiences include Google Display Ads. We will talk more about those later in this course. To create an audience, simply go to the second column of the settings page. About halfway down, you'll see an option that says Audience Definitions. Select this option. Then select Audiences. In here, a box will pop up. This box uses logic to define your website audiences. You can choose all site visitors except for purchasers, all site visitors that visit this page. It's logic, and you have to think about it quite hard, but it's awesome to be able to filter and say, if anyone visits this D6 Dice page, I want them to be a part of the D6 Dice audience. You can also add exclusions. So for example, if I target all site visitors but exclude purchasers, then that means that I am only targeting people that have not made a purchase. I can submit ads to them that say, don't forget to add this to your cart, or if it's a timely matter, add this for Father's Day. Are you beginning to see how you can use all of these options to be able to build up your digital marketing platform? I hope so. When you create an audience, you want to be sure to include this in both metrics. When you create this audience, it will give you an option to save it to both platforms, Analytics and Google Ads. Be sure to save it in both platforms because you want to be able to see this audience when you go over into Google Ads as well. Last but not least, we are going to create goals in Google Analytics. To do this, simply go to the third column of the settings page. Select the goals option. Then select new goal. These goals are very important because they help you track where people are on your page. Now, as a business owner, you want to consider the marketing funnel. You have the top of the funnel where people are learning about your product, and you have the bottom of the funnel where they are purchasing. They are product loyalists. They have done what you want them to do. Buy into your business in some way, shape, or form. In my experience, I love data. I love to set up goals for every major waymark in the marketing funnel. So for Gravity Dice, I am going to create a page visit, an add to cart goal, an add payment goal, and a purchase goal. This will help me understand the numbers of people that come to my website, actually look at products, add them to cart, add payment information, and purchase. Understanding these numbers and how they trickle down will help me adjust my marketing strategy accordingly. For example, if I see people are visiting the site but not adding products to the cart, I can start asking myself questions such as, why would that be? What is hindering people from adding to the cart? Are inventory levels sufficient? And so on. But the great news is, once you get people to visit your site, you can remarket to them later. A site visitor is 70% more likely to convert or make a purchase when they receive a remarketing ad. So therefore, if you're doing ads and you see people are coming to your site but not buying, that could be an indicator that your product has a longer purchase life cycle. We'll talk some more about this and how to improve the customer experience and ultimately scale your sales in another course. This account will become incredibly valuable later when you set up your ads and start gathering data from your site visitors. Data is good. It will help you make more educated business decisions. With regards to the Google Analytics goal setup, I really like to do custom goals. I like to track people based on their page visits. So I really enjoy having a thank you page for all conversion completions. For example, if a website visitor completes a purchase on your page, to have them land on your URL, whatever page, /thank you, you can create a custom goal for thank you purchase page. And when you have that thank you page URL, you take that snippet, put it into the goals, and every time that page is triggered, Google will count that as a goal conversion. To create this custom goal, simply select Custom in the first section. Name this goal. I always like to name my goal exactly what the page is. So I will name this Purchase Thank You Page. Then I will select Destination. As you can see, there are a couple options here. People like to use these for a wide variety of reasons, depending on what their conversion goals are. For us as business people, we are going to focus on goals. For us as business people, we are going to focus on conversions as sales. Therefore, this destination will be the Purchase Thank You page. In the next section, we have more logic. Equals to begins with in regular expression. Regular expression means also contains. I use that one more often, and I use the URL snippet that makes it different from any other page URL. You also cannot just copy and paste a URL because that is probably specific to a user. So a URL snippet is the best way to get that page for any user. In this case, I'm going to use the URL snippet for Gravity Dice Thank You Page Purchase Conversions. The snippet for this is /thank-you-purchase. I highly recommend creating a thank you page for your various sales and conversions. I have found that this is the easiest way to track conversions or sales in Google Analytics and Google Ads. If you want, you can add a value and a funnel location as well. I'm not going to worry about that right now. You can simply select Verify this goal to ensure that the tracking is working properly. If it comes back as 0%, this is normal if you just created the page. However, if the page has been running for 2 to 3 days or even a week, and you've received purchases but this goal shows no results, it is not set up properly. Ensure that you have the proper logic and URL snippet. Then simply select Save. In the next lesson, we will be implementing our Google Ads build-outs. We created those in lesson 1, so be sure to have them ready for lesson 2. I hope you enjoyed this bonus lesson on Google Analytics. If you have any questions, please let me know.